Hello and welcome to the Weird Around Illinois podcast. Today we're going to have one of our quick discussions about UFOs and cryptids. It seems like there is some sort of connection between UFO sightings and at least some kinds of cryptid sightings. If you notice that they're often clustered together. We've talked recently about Elk Grove Village and how there were UFO sightings there and Mothman sightings there and Dogman sightings there. That's not as uncommon as you might think. And there are some specific cryptids that seem to be related to UFOs. There's, sticking in Illinois, we've got the Enfield Horror, which is a weird three-legged monster that was seen in downstate Illinois. Right around the time that those sightings occurred, there were also a rash of UFO sightings. So, it made everybody think, is this an alien? And certainly that applies to other cryptids as well. I mean, the one that jumps to mind for me is Mothman.
Yeah, Mothman has been sighted at around the same times of a lot of UFO sightings.
You've mentioned before that UFOs have been seen above Mothman, something like that?
Yes. And if you read some of those specific Mothman sightings, they even include and there were two gray aliens there as well. I just find it interesting that in Mothman sightings in particular, there's a lot of crossover there.
Yeah, and it's my personal theory that maybe Mothman is an alien. I mean, coming from outer space.
We've certainly seen a lot of theories kind of expressed in that regard for Mothman being an alien. I mean, again, the link between the sightings of spaceships and Mothman, the fact that it seems sometimes like Mothman is actually deployed from a spaceship. And then, as we talked about in another podcast, the whole idea that maybe he's coming here to save us from some sort of disaster, maybe from some more advanced planet that sees something horrible about to happen.
Right.
But if we were to go back to the original Mothman sightings in Point Pleasant, it's interesting to note, it often gets swept under the rug, there was a rash of UFO sightings around the same time as the Mothman sightings. And then after the Mothman sightings, there were apparently a lot of incidents involving the infamous Men in Black. There were the guys in the black suits who were hanging out in Point Pleasant, questioning people, giving denials of anything that appeared to be happening there, any UFO sightings, any Mothman sightings, just basically trying to quiet people down.
Men in Black in real life.
Yeah.
Did anyone find them around O'Hare?
It hasn't been reported around O'Hare. That's a really good question, because you're right. That's, we always talk about, hundreds of Mothman sightings there and several alien sightings or UFO sightings there. Another cryptid, though, that often gets associated with UFOs is Bigfoot. And this is a little more tenuous link. I mean, unless you go back to the old TV show, The $6 Million Man, which said that Bigfoot was a robot created by aliens. What you have is these lights that often appear in the sky around the same time as Bigfoot sightings. And I think they even saw some of that on the Expedition Bigfoot TV show, where they would see these three orbs in the air over an area where they'd had Bigfoot sign.
Oh yeah, I think I remember now. They saw random lights at certain places.
Yeah. People kind of take that a step further and say that, either the UFOs are here to study Bigfoot, or Bigfoot came from the UFO, or they both came from the same dimension and crossed through the same portal. And then, to follow up on the Men in Black thing, you mentioned there are often helicopters that appear after Bigfoot sightings with the orbs. So, if there is this Men in Black cleanup crew that shows up whenever there's an alien sighting or a UFO sighting, well, there's the black helicopters for you. Well, it'll be something to keep in mind as we go forward, that just because there's a cryptid sighting, it doesn't mean we shouldn't look at the skies, and just because there's a UFO sighting, it doesn't mean we shouldn't look at the ground. There could very well be a connection between the two, and we should use evidence of one as a reason to look for the other.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for listening. And as always, thank you for subscribing. And we welcome your comments and your thoughts and any sightings you may choose to share with us. Thank you.